Good morning. Just walking at the park, folks. Now I'm out here. My doctor said, hey, it's girth. That's the problem. Okay. She could have just said, hey, you have a little bit of fat going on there. That's what I would have preferred. Just cut to the chase, tell me it's fat. I'm good, I can handle it. But a walk at the park, life is not, that's for sure. And that is kind of what this one's about. You know, one of my son's coaches from baseball just passed away. And for several weeks had him on the prayer list, and I believe God can do what God has the capabilities of doing. He can heal people. But it didn't happen in this case on this side. So that man had 2 sons and a wife that are left behind. One of his sons is really close in age, goes to the same high school as my son. And those 2 sons are going to have a tough time for quite a while. That's why I say sometimes life is not a walk in the park. Sometimes. And then a good friend who is in a men's prayer group that I'm in was found dead in his house the other night. And I believe that was Friday. Today's Monday. Saturday, today's Monday. On Saturday, I had a opportunity to be a part of a promotion demonstration, and almost kind of like a little ceremony, but for 3 master level black belts in karate and martial arts. That was a fun deal, and I got to do a board break demonstration, just a little small part of the whole thing. My little part was nothing compared to all of the kids that showed up and did their demonstration, and the master level black belts that showed up and did their weapons, katas, and katas in ancient form. Basically, I call it meditation in motion. Now, before you go, oh, Jacob's getting weird. Look, there's a biblical basis for meditation. Be still and know that I am God. Well, how you gonna know if you ain't meditating on the fact that He is God? He is who He says He is. He can do what He says He can do. He is sovereign, and it's up to Him what happens. A lot. And there's some things that are up to us. Like, I have the opportunity to get up before the sunrise on a Monday, right? Sun is coming up. Look at that. Now I can stay in bed and get up a little bit later. Or if God's given me the ability, I can use the ability to get up and come see something beautiful, even though it is in the city. We've got some water out here. We had a little bit of rain last night, which is great. So back to Saturday. Saturday, got to do a board break demonstration. And got to see these great skilled martial artists get promoted. And we had some people drive in from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which has a rich history in Texas karate. Rich history in the martial arts. First ever karate class ever in the United States happened here in Texas. One of the oldest systems of martial arts started here in Texas. Pretty neat. So we got to see some people in that heritage, and that was great. Well, what ended up happening was that was a cool demonstration to be a part of, and people that I met were awesome. People that I got to talk to that are a whole lot better than I am at certain things in the martial arts. But I ended up with a migraine that day, and it finally subsided last night. So all of Saturday afternoon and evening, and then all of Sunday, all day Sunday. Yeah, I am talking out here where the fish are, but there ain't nobody fishing, so I'm not disturbing them. If there was somebody fishing, I probably wouldn't be over here talking and disturbing what they're trying to do. But so ended up with a migraine. Then got the message that a close friend in a men's prayer group was found in his house. As just, we have the opportunity each day that we've been given the breath of life to live, to do something with it. And this guy is a good guy, good friend. And all the men in that specific prayer group is dedicated to pray 1 hour on Tuesday, every Tuesday. And this was about 4 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago, I walked into this group. It was the first kind of men's group that I found on the internet here in my area. when just after I had decided, you know what, I'm not living in alignment with biblical principles, and God allowed me to wake up to the fact that I was not living according to biblical principles. Look at that, sun's about to come up, guys. And so this is the first group, and out of like about, for a time there was like 5 or 6 I was going to. Now it's more like 3 to 4, sometimes 5. But this guy that passed away, and I consider all the men in the group close friends, because I mean, when you meet, you know, for several years, you know, at least once a week, and you're praying about needs of other people, sometimes you put yours on the list too, and you just kind of check up on each other, you know, every once in a while. And so, but it's always to me, in my experience, you never know when your last day is going to be, folks. And you have a choice to take the gifts, the giftings, the talents, and the potentials, and the stuff that's on your life that God has given you, the talents, the gifts, the abilities. I believe God gives you something in your life that really lights you up when you get involved in it. And I think you're supposed to do that thing and get to the place where you can do that thing with excellence. So much so that you can make an impact on someone else. So this thing on Saturday, again, I'm probably half of 1% of the whole presentation, like nothing at all. But I just did this little board break, you know, with 3 boards and 3 ridge hand strikes. One of them was like a turnaround spinning thing, which is kind of neat. And then after the deal, and I'm nothing compared to these people that are there, but this little kid comes up with his board break that he did just a little while earlier. He says, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure. Will you sign my board?" Sign your board. Roger that. Okay. Like, I'm nothing. But as a kid, I believe God orchestrates our steps, and He puts us in the way of something that we are to do. So my parents at the time, you know, got me into the martial arts, and I did that for a few years, and then still kind of practice what I had learned up to the point of what we call green belt, which is almost like 30 to 40% of the way through the system. So, you know, even though I started having a headache at that time, I didn't even think about it. You know, I was talking to some of these really, really seasoned martial artists, and one of them's in the Texas Martial Arts Hall of Fame. And that was pretty neat to hear his perspective. Sun's almost up, folks. This is a little bit long video, but it's Monday morning muster. And so the definition of muster is, I'm not going to say it word for word, but it's on the channel there. I wrote it down, got it from the dictionary. It almost means a place to gather, or a gathering of soldiers to get skills and tools, get armed up to be able to go into battle. So my son's coach passing away within a handful of days ago. Just younger than me. One of my son's coaches, I believe, younger than me. And then a good friend in the men's prayer group who was always asking me how things are going. You know, how's your son's doing? How's your oldest son? And he'd say their names by name. He's found in his house. And then this migraine all day yesterday. Oh my goodness sakes. On this side of the grave, folks, you got stuff to do. Do it. You might be an inspiration to somebody and give them a reason to go on. I don't know if you've taken a look around you, wherever you go. Most people do not ever share the crap they're going through with anybody else. That's a huge problem, especially for men. We're so proud and stoic. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some uses for being like that. There's some situations in which you want to be like that and a little bit detached so you can effectively operate. But you're still human. You are made in the image and likeness of God. Back early on in Genesis, he said he created them, male and female created he them. So the ability to connect and discover the emotional patterns of a friend, of a coworker, spouse, brother, was given to us. We're created to connect. We're created to connect with God first and foremost, and to walk with Him in the cool of the day, which I guess you could call this the cool of the day. And wherever two or three are gathered together in His name, there He is in the midst of them. So, on this side of the grave, you got some gifting, talent, and potential, and some calling, something to do. And in the New Testament, it says, continue where you were at. Continue doing some of the things that you were doing when you were called, right? So whatever you're doing that you have to do, that your hands find to do it with your might. Whatever that is. And you just might inspire someone in the midst of this chaotic life we live in. No matter if you're not feeling well, you know, no matter if it's uncomfortable, you know, people are gonna die. You need to be there for them and their families. And get up and go do. Lead your life. So, it's appointed unto man once to die, and after death the judgment. So when we breathe our last breath here, folks, You want to be sure, number one, that your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And that means that you passed spiritually from death to life. Got some fish jumping out there. Maybe next time I don't come out here and talk, I come out here and fish, right? How easy is it? It's remarkably easy and simple to accept the free gift of salvation. So that when yours and my time come to breathe our last breath, which it's all coming, folks, for every last one of us, unless something else happens that's written in the Bible, and he just decides to scoop you up without dying. That's in there. That's in the Bible. I remember the thief on the cross. Jesus was put right in between two thieves, the only perfect man to ever walk the earth, truly perfect in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in every category of life. Perfect, flawless, but yet chose to put on skin and come down here and be amongst creation for the purpose of restoring the authority of the kingdom of God and kingdom of heaven here on earth, and giving us that mandate by which to execute in the midst of this chaotic world where we can't control a lot of things that happen because they are set forth long ago because of the fall. You know, there's a lot of chaos on the earth because sin entered the earth. And God's got a system and a process, and that system and process is going to keep going until he comes and makes it all perfect. A new heaven and a new earth. All that's in the Bible. So, what am I saying? I'm not just rambling here. People close to you are going to die. You're going to die. You've got this moment until that moment to do something about it. To be there for your family, friends, associates, and acquaintances. To do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. To do something with the life you've been given. To take the giftings, talents, and potentials that you've been given on this earth and do something with them. Put them out there. Put yourself out there in the discomfort zone. God will use it to inspire others to create breakthroughs in their own lives. By you exercising the ability to create breakthroughs in your life, which is basically where you thought something was impossible, it now becomes possible. The things you thought were impossible now become possible. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can abound and I can be content with what I have. Paul was saying I can be abased and abound. And I can do all things. Whatever God's placed me here to do, I can do it. And I can do it with excellence. And I can do it to the point where it inspires someone else in the midst of chaos. People dying. In the midst of chaos, God likes to shine. Light happens regardless of how dark the dark wants to be. Not one single man, situation, or circumstance is going to stop that sun from coming over the east over there, because that was set in motion by God's word. Let there be light. Boom! and it still pops out. Of course, we're rotating around it, right? All them experts say. And even you flat earther types out there, that's fine too. The sun still rises in the east, and it still sets in the west. That'd be east, that'd be west, that's north, and that's south. Sun still rises in the east, sets in the west. And so, on that command of God, let there be light. The light of the world entered into the world. Jesus, His Word. John 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So, people that are close to you are going to die. You're going to die. Make sure your name's written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Back to the thief on the cross. The thief on the cross. There was one to one side of him that said, was basically just kind of cursing everybody out in his last moments. Folks, I don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy. I'm going to tell you that right now. Especially, being pinned up next to the Prince of Peace. Who's doing that for you, by the way, and me. Could have called legions of angels to come deliver him, but kept his mouth shut. Because that, His Word, we still have light. That's the power of His spoken word. He could have called them there to take him off of that cross, take control of the situation, but it wouldn't have been finished. The price had to be paid for our sin, folks. Sunrise is coming up. So the other thief on the cross says, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus said to him, today you will be with me in paradise. Amidst a horrific death, the Prince of Peace spoke, and by the power of His word, ushered that man into the paradise with Him. And if your name's written in the Lamb's Book of Life, all you have to do is say, Lord, remember me. Jesus, I know that you're the only one perfect. Could you help me? Would you come into my life, come into my heart? Make me like you. You do that, you just stepped out of death into life. Look at Romans 10:9. 10:9 and 10. Well, we got a little cloud cover here, and we're going almost 30 minutes here. I guess you guys can see the sun is rising. Hopefully this is an encouragement to you, no matter what's going on in your life. So 2 men that I knew are dead. One that I was really close to for over the last 3.5 to 4 years. The other, not as close, but close enough to feel a little bit of it. And then in the midst of the migraine, over the last, day and a half, showing up to perform and do something that I believe God gave me the ability to do. Of course, I worked to create it. You don't just show up without doing something after you show up. You have to develop skills and stuff like that. But God has given you, the listener, and me, the other listener, the things to do. Things to do. That sun's about to come up over the clouds. It's already up over the earth, but it's about to come up over the clouds. He's given you and me things to do that only we can do. Just as unique as the fingerprint, as unique as a snowflake that never duplicates, as unique as the pattern of the iris in the eye that has never been before, never will be after your pattern that God has blessed you with. You have something to do on this earth. Whatever your hands find to do, do it with your might, because you ain't going to be doing it in the grave. You got something to do on this side of the grave to inspire others to move forward in the midst of the chaos of their life and your life. We create meaning by every step we take in the right direction. Decide, commit, and succeed at the thing that God has created you to do. Do it. And give God the glory for it. And then tell people who gave you the ability to do it. If you're listening to this and you're into welding, or you're into business, or you're into art, or you're a musician, or a construction person, or a martial artist, or just a household executive, fisherman, hunter, teacher, lawyer, doctor, whoever you are, wherever you're at, whatever your hands have to do today, do it with your might. And give God the credit, the glory, the honor, the praise, and the worship for it. In so doing, you let His light shine through you. And let other people know what you're about when they ask you. It's been over 30 minutes. That cloud is just kind of lingering there. I'm not going to make you wait any longer, but that's the sunrise, folks.